Hey Lunatics, what's up? It's a Silent Reviews here. Come at you guys with my 205 Live and NXT review for the April 16th and April 17th, 2019 episodes. Now, there's two things to keep in mind here for both shows. For one, we had Cedric Alexander's farewell match on 205 Live. He fought Oney Lorcan in possibly one of the best matches I've ever seen on this entire show. And on NXT, we saw Sane's farewell match with Shayna Baszler, in which she lost, and the stipulation was if she lost, which she did, that she would never compete for the NXT Women's title, which makes sense because Kairi got called up to SmackDown Live. If you didn't already see SmackDown this week, spoiler alert, Kairi Sane is now on SmackDown Live. So we'll talk about that when we get to NXT. So 205 Live, man. Now, what could I say about 205 Live this week? Yeah, like I said, and 205 Live never disappoints. It's always a fantastic show. Same with NXT. These two shows are the shows to watch on Wednesday nights. NXT UK, not so much. I mean, I like NXT UK. I just, for some reason, I'm just like not really a big fan of it like I am with 205 Live and NXT. I don't know what it is. It's just, sometimes they got really good matches, and the match with Walter and Pete Dunne at TakeOver New York, that was fucking amazing. And I'm not going to take anything away from them because I enjoyed that fight between them and Walter being the new champ or whatever. But, I don't know. The other matches that they have, just tag team matches and, one-on-one matches that, people I don't really care about, it's something I really want to talk about. That's really the main reason why I don't review NXT UK. I don't know. But anyways, 205 Live, guys. So the show kicked off with the Cruiserweight Champion, Tony Nese. And he said that he's narrating his title win, promising big things in the future as he defends his title. And he's also looking to be a fighting champion now that he is the Cruiserweight Champion. And he said he's ready to see who's going to be next to step up in line. Who's going to be next to step up in the plate to fight Tony for the title. I have no idea who could be fighting him next. Maybe it's Oney Lorcan. Maybe it's Mike Kanellis. Drew Gulak. We'll see. We will see. I'm not sure right now, but we should find out eventually down the near road in the future. So yeah, there's that. Drake Maverick was on commentary to hype up our main event, which is Cedric Alexander's final match in the Cruiserweight division against Oney Lorcan. Lucha House Party gets a promo, and Lince Dorado busts out a little French for the Montreal crowd. They inform us that it is, in fact, Lucha time. We had a fatal four-way match. I don't know what this was for. It was just a random fatal four-way. But we had Ari Daivari versus Akira Tozawa versus Grand Metalik versus Mike Kanellis. And Ari Daivari was the one who picked up the win here, and I'm a little surprised by that. Out of these four names, I kind of would have expected Mike Kanellis or Akira Tozawa to win, but it was Ari Daivari who won this time. So he wins with a lateral press on Tozawa, stealing the win after Kanellis hits the rolling cutter, and Metalik broke it up with a springboard elbow drop that Akira got the entirety of. Oney Lorcan gets a promo where he says that Cedric Alexander has led 205 Live, and if he can't beat him, he's not worthy of picking him up where he leaves off as leader. Cedric, for his part, gets a promo where he talks about the opportunity to go to Raw and build his legacy. No matter what happens tonight, he'll be proud of his part in building 205 Live from the start, and he wants Oney to give him everything he's got and then some. Then we get to the match. I can't tell you how fucking amazed I was by just watching this. The first time they fought, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago in the Cruiserweight title tournament, it was really good. And that was the first time they were fought together. Oney Lorcan and Cedric Alexander. But tonight, holy motherfucking shit. This was the best match I've ever seen on 205 Live since the show ever aired. Seriously. This is the best farewell match I've ever seen. This match was so good. It was so hard-hitting. It was so physical. It had everything you could want for a match like this. And it was really well praised by everybody in the locker room. And it says here this was one of the best pure wrestling matches on the show and felt like something more to a New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Division match than anything you would ever expect to see on WWE TV. So if you haven't already, guys, please go watch 205 Live. If you don't want to watch the Fatal 4-Way match, you don't have to. But if you really want to see something special, go tune into 205 Live this week, and you go watch Cedric Alexander versus Oney Lorcan in Cedric's farewell match, and you will not be disappointed. Fucking amazing. Lorcan dominated Alexander quickly with a lot of mat work and stiff shots to the chest. Alexander landed his big dropkick and hit another. Lorcan chopped the daylights out of him, but Alexander recovered. He went for a dive to the floor, but Lorcan shoved him to the barricade. Oney threw Cedric to the corner and took him down with a lariat. Lorcan got a lot of body locks, but Alexander got him down in the seated position with a hesitation dropkick. Alexander hit a spinning back elbow and a jumping kick on the apron. A springboard flatliner got 2 for Alexander, then a giant Michinoku driver hit another 2. Cedric landed a big forearm and then a European uppercut, but the neutralizer kick was met with a big uppercut. Lorcan connected with a slick uppercut for a 2 count. Lorcan wanted a half-and-half suplex, but he couldn't get it either grounded up on top. He got sent to the floor for the ladder, and Alexander hit a flip dive. They exchanged stiff shots on the apron before Alexander was sent in, where a giant lariat hit, and the half-and-half gave Lorcan the win. And just like that, Oney picks up the win in Cedric's final match. After the match, they showed respect to each other. Alexander then got to end his run on 205 Live mid-ring to the cheers of the fans, and that's when the show went off the air. Cedric and Oney gave each other respect, and again, amazing. I really can't say anything more about this match. There's really nothing else to talk about here. It's just go watch it for yourself, and you'll see why this was so intense. This was so physical, and probably the best farewell match I've ever seen in my entire life watching wrestling. It's just beautiful. I loved it. NXT, we had a North American Championship match with Velveteen Dream and Buddy Murphy. Yes, Buddy Murphy was on NXT. He hasn't been on NXT since he debuted on the main roster. Or 205 Live, rather. He hasn't been on NXT since he was on 205 Live. So after successfully retaining his North American Championship against Matt Riddle at TakeOver New York, Velveteen Dream defended against the former Cruiserweight Champion, Buddy Murphy. I'm surprised this match went on first. I thought this was going to be the main event, but KAIRI'S, Sane, and Shayna Baszler ended up main eventing the show. I kind of wanted Dream and Murphy to main event, but it's whatever. So we had Dream and Murphy. Murphy took control of the bout after several minutes of back and forth by sending Dream face first into the steel post. He followed up with a picture-perfect tope con heel and then grounded the eccentric champion with a headlock. A last-ditch super kick from Dream created separation and allowed him the chance to fight back into the match. Dream and Murphy scaled the ropes, exchanged blows, and tumbled to the floor. It was later in the match that Murphy caught Dream with a kick to the face and dropped him with a powerbomb for a quality near fall. He followed up with a jumping knee to the face. The champion recovered and delivered the Dream Valley driver, followed by the Purple Rainmaker to score the win. And just like that, Velveteen Dream retains against Buddy Murphy. Murphy may be the best pound for pound wrestler in WWE based on his body of work over the last year, and that's 100% true because this guy is just fucking... He just gets better every time I watch him. Whether he's delivering show-stealing performances against Mustafa Ali or Cedric Alexander, tearing it up with Tony Nese, looking like the next breakout star of the 205 Live brand, the Australian has been the most steadily excellent superstar in any roster to date. Add in his stellar performance against Velveteen Dream, and you have even more evidence to support the fact that Murphy is not only WWE's best-kept secret, but also the potential steal of this week's Superstar Shakeup. Dream, to his credit, again delivered in a big match situation. He was excellent, selling every one of Murphy's big strikes and maneuvers, and really putting over the Aussie's threat to his goal. This was great, man. I enjoyed it. New NXT champion Johnny Gargano addresses the NXT universe, only to be interrupted by the Undisputed Era. NXT champion Johnny Gargano made his first appearance since winning the title in Brooklyn, New York. He basked in the chants of "You deserve it" and "Johnny champion." But before he could address the crowd, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish interrupted. From the ramp, Cole refused to endure another love fest between the Gargano and the fans. He claimed the victory based on winning the first fall of their match. He called himself the uncrowned champion of NXT. Gargano answered back saying he wouldn't cry like a bae, playing off Cole's catchphrase. I laughed out loud at that. This brought the 3 Undisputed Era members to the ringside area. Roderick Strong attacked from out of nowhere, and the faction left Gargano lying following a super kick from its leader, Adam Cole, who holds up the title. So it looks like Gargano and Cole is still going to be continuing, which I kind of expected. This probably would have been an even more effective segment had Gargano gotten to deliver the passionate celebratory speech that he delivered following his memorable moment in New York. But Undisputed Era getting its heat back and Cole ascending to the forefront of the brand as its lead villain has been a long time coming. From this perspective, this has worked. Gargano and Cole is a feud that should continue and ultimately result in the latter winning the title. This was a step in that direction, even if it could have used a little more spark. Dominic Dijakovic versus Aaron Fry. I have no idea who the hell this guy was, but Dominic Dijakovic just destroyed this guy. And what was interesting about this was after the match, Dijakovic got on the mic and he said that he wants a piece of the Velveteen Dream's North American title. I was really interested in that line right there by Dijakovic, because Dijakovic and Dream could be a really stellar match for the North American title, and it could be the next North American title match that could headline the next TakeOver, which is probably not until whatever city they're going at. I don't even know. The one that's at SummerSlam. It's obviously not Brooklyn because we just saw Brooklyn. But we'll see. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we see with Dijakovic and the Velveteen Dream. Wonder what Dream is going to say next week regarding Dominic Dijakovic. And then we get to the main event. We have Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler. Kairi Sane entered Wednesday's broadcast, realizing that if she lost to NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, she would never get another opportunity to the title again. It was against the background the Pirate Princess delivered a ferocious, tenacious performance, staving off the concentrated attack of the Queen of Spades and a big spear. But she unloaded with strikes and applied the anchor, but Baszler made the ropes, forcing a break. An arm injury suffered by Sane became the target of Baszler's attack. The referee repeatedly asked the challenger if she wanted to give it up, but she refused, opting to fight to the agony. Io Shirai comes out of nowhere, concerned about her friend. She eventually jumped into the ring and shoved Baszler away, drawing a disqualification. After the match, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir pulled Shirai to the floor and forced her to watch as Baszler stomped the injured arm of the Pirate Princess. The Queen of Spades exchanged words with Shirai to close out the show. So Baszler wins by disqualification. Now, this featured a solid story as Sane fought through the pain, realizing it was her last opportunity to challenge for the gold, but it leaves an open end that will never be probably closed with the call-up of the Private Princess to SmackDown Live. Would Sane be resentful of Shirai for costing her a title and a last chance to win it? Now, the obvious answer is probably a resounding yes, but that aspect of the story appears destined to go underdeveloped thanks to recent booking decisions. Shirai is the obvious next challenger to Baszler, as she should be. Whether she can wrest the title from her is the question that bears watching in the upcoming weeks. Yeah, so there you go. There's your NXT and 205 Live review. 205 Live NXT review, whatever order you want it. But I don't know, man. In my opinion, I think 205 Live was the better show this week. And that's the second week in a row I'm saying it. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed Buddy Murphy and Velveteen Dream, but for some reason, Cedric Alexander and Oney Lorcan just really stood out to me, and it was just fucking bar burn. It was fucking fantastic. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it. Again, if you haven't seen the match, go watch it. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap up this review for the 205 Live NXT review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, RKO the like button out of nowhere. Tap the bell for notifications to get all my future uploads. And I'll be back next week. And I say that because I'm going to Florida. I didn't want to say anything. I was probably going to wait until I came back, because people are going to wonder, oh, why you haven't uploaded in like 5 days or whatever. So just letting you guys know, I'm going to be in Miami, Florida. I leave tomorrow, and I come back on Wednesday. So whatever time I get back on Wednesday, whether it's early afternoon or night or whatever, presumably I'm going to try to bring, continue the uploads, can make more content for you guys, probably Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, depending on what time I get back from Florida. If not Wednesday, then for sure Thursday for sure. So yeah, so until then, I will see you all in the next one. So alright, guys, yeah, it's gonna wrap up, and I'll see you guys when I get back from Florida. So, too sweet. Also, I'm going to try my best. I'm not saying that I'm probably going to do it, but if I can, I'm going to try to put up any reviews for you guys while I'm in Florida for Raw and SmackDown and NXT and 205 Live. We'll see. We'll see if I can even do one show or one review. If not, then I'll just do it all when I come back. So just be aware of that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. So, too sweet.